Hi, I'm Molly Keck from the Integrated Pest Management Program of Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service, and this is a short video on how to protect yourself from getting bed bugs and bringing them home in case they're in your hotel. The first tip is when you enter your hotel, instead of placing your bags immediately on the bed, leave them in the hallway or outside, or if you're really worried, you can place them inside of the tub or inside the shower. You're just trying to avoid placing them on the bed in case bed bugs are there, or on chairs so that they don't crawl into your luggage and then you accidentally bring them home.
All right, I am Wizzy Brown, and I'm also with the IPM program with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, and I get the pleasure of tearing apart the bed to inspect for bed bugs. So the first thing that you want to do is just get all of the bedding off. You don't have to inspect the bedding for bed bugs, you just get it off the bed. Okay. So that's the main part of what we want to do. So we're going to keep the fitted sheet on for now, and we're going to be a little bit more careful when we remove that, because if you do have bed bugs on here and it's bad infestation, you can start flinging them all over the place, and we really want to avoid that if at all possible. So I always travel with a little tiny pen light flashlight. This is always in my bag, just so I can inspect places, and not just hotels. You would be amazed at the other places that you can find bed bugs, such as movie theaters. So carry one in your bag or your pocket, and that way you can inspect before you go see a movie too. So with this, you're gonna look along the seams of the sheet and be careful about removing those. And I'm just gonna go all the way around the bed. So the next part we're gonna inspect is we're actually going to start looking at the mattress itself. And when you're looking at the mattress, you're gonna need to look along all of the piping edges, and you're gonna be looking for little tiny eggs, and bed bug eggs kind of look like, I want to say dandruff, but they're round, but they're kind of a lighter color. You can also look for the different stages of bed bugs. The first instar nymphs are going to be about the size of a poppy seed. They are not black like that though. And then the adults are going to be probably about the size of a watermelon seed. And then you have all those sizes in between. And color can range anywhere from kind of a pale, almost clear whitish color for those smaller nymph stages. And then they turn bright red when they have actually fed on blood. And then the adults, on the other hand, are going to be more of a brown color, and then they get a brownish red when they have fed on blood. So you're going to inspect all of the piping, tops and bottoms, which this is actually looking pretty clean. And you can also look for what we call fecal spotting. So since they feed on blood, a lot of times you will have, it looks like dried up blood on there. And they're typically going to be usually in clusters when you find them. But if it's a new infestation, you may just have 1 or 2 bed bugs in an area. So we're going to inspect the piping all the way around. Then we are going to remove the mattress from the bed so we can actually look at the underside of it. Okay, so a good thing to know when you're dealing with bed bugs, generally, not generally, I guess sometimes when you have new infestations, they will kind of start around where the tag is, either in the mattress or the box spring. So you really want to make sure that you check in those areas and lift that tag up to make sure that they don't have any bed bugs clustered under that area. So once we get the mattress off the bed and we have inspected the other side, then this thing, which I find useless, I don't know what it is, we're going to take this off. And you don't have to look at that, you can just inspect that. So now we have our box spring, and you're just going to go through the same stages as you did for the mattress and go around the edges and start inspecting your seams here. When you're focusing on the box spring, you know where it sits on the frame. A lot of times that's a tight space for the bed bugs to be in, and so they will actually cluster in those areas. So definitely look in those areas, usually along the corners where they have that little plastic guard. They like cramming themselves in that space. And then you're definitely going to want to flip this over and look on the underside as well. All right, so the last part of the bed that you would really need to inspect is the bedboard or headboard. So sometimes you can actually remove this from the wall so you can get a really good inspection, but usually it is attached like you see this one right here. And so that's where your little flashlight will come in handy, because that will allow you to peer behind the wall and you can look for bed bugs moving around or fecal spotting or anything like that. So if you are that lucky lotto winner and you actually find bed bugs, then you would need to go to the management and tell them that you found bed bugs in your room, and you're going to need to actually get another room, and you're going to have to go through the same process in that room, because if one room has them, then it's quite possible that another one does. So make sure that they are aware of the situation and that you inspect your next room until you get a clean room to be in.